Hey everyone, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 15. I've just stocked up on sandwiches and now I'm gonna have terrible hiccups as always, but that's fine. Gonna be casting today Quarterfinals C, I think this would have to be, between myself and Just Carriers. Obviously I know how these games go, but I won't spoil nothing. I can tell you what my strategy was though. I figured I'd just rush the guy to death over and over again, because it'd be annoying. So that's the game plan. It's gonna be Soban versus Galzian. I'll open up our info.txt here. If I can find it. There we go. So yeah, you can see, oh, I missed a B there. You can see Just Carrier has the faction pick first. I'm gonna ban College Teeth just because, you know, I don't really like this map, especially against, like for this matchup, GBS. And then Carrier's gonna ban the Boneyard, very good ban, because he doesn't want to play on a map that's really aggressive like that. And he picks Touring Crater for game 1. I think this is a good idea because it's a big map, a little bit harder to rush on it. And he does know kind of what my game plan is going to be. GT and KT are both really aggressive maps, of course. Then he's going to grab Firebase, and then Tight End Passage would be the potential ace match here. And I can already hear the combat music playing, so you can tell this probe took some damage. Now you want to be really careful with this probe in the early game. It does show him the information of where this PC is, but you want to just hold it around the carrier so that you can get info on the tech and not risk losing the probe. A little interesting to see the, oh yeah? Very good, very good. Well, perhaps he'll be able to enlighten us as to why. Yeah, if you're gonna retire the base runner, I think it's a good idea to send this probe out, if you're going, like, SC first or something, but we'll see what the game plan is for Just Carrier. I think he's actually doing, like, LAV spam here. So in that case, you might actually just be able to go without it, but if you've got the probe, get the good info by coming around and checking out the carrier. That's what you really want to see. And it looks like that is going to be what he does. Yeah, Torrent, very, very large map. It always has been. Of course, when we played on the vanilla version of Torrent, the base spawns like right here, so it's easy to attack because of the terrain. But the rush distance actually has always been quite long on this map. Just Carry, by the way, in my opinion, has a bit of a misset here because he's got 2 on RUs. Would it be better, I think, to pull one of these guys off and have him long distance mine? But, that is going to get him a rather quick assault pack here. You can see Railgun Fab on the way for me. Now, if I know it's LAV spam, I like to cancel this, but I'm not going to get the info quick enough. So Railgun Tech is going to finish here. Depth pack deployed, that's actually quite a mistake. You know, you're not going to get any value out of that. He does have the boost just about to, well, and it's still like 10 seconds off. So he's never going to be able to capitalize on that damage, just cost him another 100 CUs. On top of losing the Salvager already. There's Assault Pack finished. And the first AR hits the field too. This is a bit of a dangerous moment for the Galzian player in this scenario, because, like, this Assault Railgun can, in theory, keep me safe from the LAVs jumping on me, but I do have to control it carefully. And there's always going to be more LAVs than there are skins, so gotta be a little careful here. Speaking of being careful, this guy's already taken like half his health, but he will regenerate over time, so just want to play it slow here. I have the range advantage, not take bad trades if I can. And that turned out to be a pretty good one, right? Well, actually, it looks like it was just 1 for 1 overall. Ah, whatever. We'll take it. What I really want to do is buy time to get like my 2 PC set up here. And as the Saban player, he's actually teching the vehicle damage upgrades for the LAVs, but I might have just gone straight to the railguns here. Because once you have rails, you can kind of bully the assault railguns. He's actually going to dive in on this AR right now, but this is a little bit dangerous. Yeah, he's taking a lot of losses there, and not really inflicting that many. So now it looks like that was a 3 for 5, I think. And he didn't get the assault railgun. That's important. Second PC is on the way, as you can see. It's about halfway done. The LAVs keep taking fire from these ARs. This is a very, very good scenario for me. I could even probably be controlling this a little better, because you can see I'm losing a couple of skims here and there. But I'm still happy with the status quo. This is good for me. Damage 2 teching for Just Scary though. So these LAVs are gonna be pretty strong. But I think it's not really what you need. By the way, Probe did end up dying as the second PC spawns. That's pretty typical. But it's fine. Just Carrier knows that there's 2 PC now. Yeah, I guess it isn't really doing a whole lot. By the way, Soul Railgun actually dies there. It doesn't really do it a whole lot in the ALMs, except for like stopping me from diving, but that's not really the game plan here. I think 1 in range actually would be pretty good, but it wouldn't be like spectacular range. But it can probably hit like all the way out to here with 1 in range. Yeah, we're gonna take some fire again here. Looks like it'll actually die. Remember, these LAVs are really quite strong, but as long as this heavy railgun doesn't die, I feel okay. And I build it to get the pressure, of course. I think ARs, if I remember correctly, have 1250 range, and this thing is saying 1200, but you have to reckon it goes from the middle of the carrier, or sorry, from the turret instead of from the middle of the carrier, so... Actually, I think that they would already outrange Assault Railguns at, like, power 0, but... I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, you can see the skim numbers starting to get a little ridiculous now. This is what happens when you get 2 PCs set up. And the heavy railgun doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does chip in constantly over time. So this is actually okay. Again, I like these trades where we're just going very slow. There's no need for me to jump too quickly here. EMP gonna tech for me. And there it is. EMP, by the way, oh, already gonna be used here. That's nice. Disables the weapons, so, you know, for that moment, we have the run-up for free, and then the skims trade well after they've finished the run-ups. That's a really nice EMP for me. This tech is gonna have its cost increased in the next version of patch, I believe, if I remember the patch notes correctly. Which is probably good, because as you can see, it's really annoying to play against in these rail rush scenarios. Vegetables? What? Oh, you mean leaks as in... Ah, I see. Yeah, I'm giving you all the inside scoop. There it is, man. Carrier finally starting to take some fire. But again, no railgun fab for Just Carrier. He doesn't seem to really feel like he needs it. Yeah, but EMP. Oh, speaking of which, here's another pretty good one. This railgun might still die, though, which is actually pretty bad for me. It's an expensive unit. Yeah, that feels pretty rough, actually. Ah, okay. Well, at any rate, that's what it looks like right now. Speaking of EMP, there's another one. Gonna catch this vetted LAV. But Just Carrier is actually starting to trade pretty well here. It's probably just by virtue of having the upgrades. Oh my gosh, another heavy railgun. It's gonna be fed to the crows here. Yeah. Excited to make all the builds change again. This trade here, I might not actually win, by the way. I'm kind of sticking in pretty deep. You see, the ALM finally fires, so now there's good value on this power and ALMs, right? No, I definitely agree. It'd be better to have this in range the whole time. Or at this point, now that you're getting hit by the railguns, you can switch it to armor because although it doesn't do a huge amount, it does reduce the damage you're taking and buy you a bit of time. Oh no. That'll make everyone very happy, I'm sure. It's like I'm actually gonna start LDMing on the third base location. That's pretty funny. And Just Carrier down to almost half. We'll call it 3/5, right? So he's taking damage, but not very quickly. Again, look at this big RU bank. I mean, these 2 RU miners this whole time could be over here picking up CUs instead. EMP gonna be a bit of a whiff there, but that's fine. Trades are still going pretty well for me. And we'll just keep going, you know. I don't have any need to change the status quo right now. This is fine for me. No, but really, it makes a big difference if you're long distance mining. Part of the value of Rail Rush is that I can do this and he can't, but actually on Torrent Crater he could, because he could still go over there. this railgun here is having quite a fun time. I don't know what he's doing. He's twitching all over. yeah. Well, I guess this was his second, but still, you know, you can just take the third here. I mean, it's a different map. Yeah, you know, to be fair though, this is definitely a bit of a dumb call for me because I don't actually have any vision here. Like, I don't know that this is not mining. I should really send like one skim over there to find out what's happening, and then if he's mining on it, I can go clean up the salvagers there. But so much wreckage, yes indeed. It was a ridiculous amount. By the way, he actually killed the heavy railgun there. Ah, okay, I see the point now. The point of that little dive in. And these RUs are certainly adding up for me, but again, Just Carrier's RU bank is not really spendable. He's got 1,000 of them right now. And it's just gonna keep going up, because like, you know, he needs LAVs. He can't really build more, or sorry, do anything with these RUs. I do agree with the armor tech here. Because if you got so many of them, right, it's gonna be quite valuable to get the upgrades for these units. Especially with the hit point increase for all of them, you know, that's going to be really, really impactful. But I still think that railgun tech really is the way to go in this kind of scenario. Wow, that was a huge EMP, actually. Again, the units are going to be firing by the time the skims get on them, but the run-up is free for me, so this is good. Lets me trade very efficiently here. And the long-distance mining intensifies over here. Second EMP going to be quite a whiff right there, but that's probably okay. Looks like I did get armor too myself. yes, that's actually true. I didn't know about this until like a couple days ago, but apparently Conf Sandstormers just have 20 less HP than Galzian ones. Hashtag Galzian OP, right? We knew it from the beginning. I'm actually banking a lot of RUs as well. If I remember correctly, I actually, in one of the games that A-Game and I were playing the other day, I actually, like, started going honor guards during a skim rush, and I was like, this is, or a rail rush. I was like, this is dumb, I can't do it, so I canceled it. And it turned out to be good for me, but... Carrier finally taking some fire again, by the way. Oh yeah, I guess that's actually pretty impactful for Vajir, isn't it? Oh, right, because you figured they were as strong as Conef skins, but they're actually just, like, better. I find it very funny, even though it's definitely not good. But carried down to 1/4 now, by the way. Slowly but surely, this game is being won by the Galzian player. And like I said, this is kind of how Rail Rush goes. Like, this is pretty ideal for things to be very slow like that. And Just Carrier knows it's over, he's gonna GG out. If you're denying your opponent's long-distance miners, then you really don't have much reason to push it too aggressively. Although, I guess that, to be fair, like, I didn't realize that he wasn't mining from here. I probably should have been checking that, but still. Game 1 gonna go my way, and we'll jump into Game 2. That one turned out to be quite a slog, but there it is. Game 2, of course, gonna be on Galzian territories. And now my idea right off the gate was that probably he'll be expecting the Rail Rush, so I can try for something stupid here. But in hindsight, I should have picked KT first and then GT after that, where I want to try this funny strat. But we're going to see if we can make the Carrier Rush happen. It's not very easy to do, but sometimes it works out. If I remember correctly, I ended up like canceling the Salvager, which is a really big mistake. So we'll see what happens. yeah. Because you know how it ends. Yeah, look at that. I actually canceled the Salvager. Okay, that's probably a big mistake actually. Because sure, he'll need travel time, but it's better to just get him out fast. Exactly. Now the probe here is going to see the base runner, which is pretty convenient for Just Carrier. And what I want to do with this rush is basically get extractions out and have the Galzian Carrier be more powerful than you would expect early on. I show the PC forward so that my opponent thinks it's going to be a rush again. And sure enough, we do see LAV Fed tech in here. This is, oh my gosh. Why is he doing this? He only has... he must not realize he only has 3 salvagers here. Uh-oh. But anyway, you know what Arik would say. But yeah, the idea is that if I have my base runner extracting, perhaps I can get the carrier out there pretty quick, and he won't realize exactly what's happening. But that's why I said it's pretty convenient he saw the base runner, because he knows something is different this time. Looks like he did correct this mistake, by the way. And you can see the LDMs are going to be switched over to RUs after one drop here, because that's what I'm going to need mostly in order to get these power reserves done. Yeah, it's the A-game buff, right? Isn't this what you were doing in JC14? Just not mining one of your salvagers? Yeah, exactly. Looks like I actually built even another dude salvager. Gonna be fleet capped here though, so maybe this is not so good. I'd love to be making more base runners right now. But as it turns out, Just Carrier is going to be proactive with these LAVs out in the opener, so that's actually probably going to put the nail in the coffin for this strat. So you can see Sandskimmer Tech already for me, and I think right there I'm changing the build order. I'm just gonna go 2 base instead, which is fine. Yay! G 1.4. Woo! Oh boy. Base runner gonna start taking a couple of chunkings here, but it should be fine. And this will give full field control to Just Carrier for a time. You can see SC pops out for him. And yeah, we're not going to be able to extract until we can get some skims to protect us here. The other downside to this, like, you know, the reason why you can't just do this and transition back to eco if things go badly like this is that I'm floating a ton of RUs right now. And actually, it'd probably be good to take these 2 guys off and go long distance mine over here, but either way, like, this is definitely not a very optimized ref mode build. Not at all. So it's meant to do the carrier rush, and I can bail out if I need to, but it's not going to be pretty. Yeah, actually, for sure, instead of Railgun Fab, I need 2 PC here. But you see the point is that I was going to do the carrier rush, and then the LAVs, I think, just sort of make it too dangerous to try for, so... That's why you shouldn't do this build, but there you go. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. There's the 2 PC started finally. Railgun Tech gonna finish here. This is only 2 LAVs though, so I could really ward them off just with the skins. So I'm gonna have to get something done with that. And Just Carrier is moving up on the free base right now. Actually, I'm pretty sure it would be PDC, because see, there's a D in it. Yeah. Pretty sure it's PDC. You know, most people don't call it that, to be fair, but I think it's still the right way to do it. Missile ship tech started here. This is the blind anti-air. Always feels a little rough, but I feel like I need to check. But I am close to his carrier, so I'll be able to cancel this in time. One would have to imagine. Yep, there's the carrier. And there's no air tech here, so that's gonna be cancelled. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Well, the problem is that if he's building LAVs and I move my carrier out, he knows that I'm coming when I'm like here, right? So the point is just the scouting information that he's getting. If he knows the carrier rush is coming that early, he'll be able to beat it. And again, it's why carrier rush is probably just a bad strategy in general, but... Well, to be fair, probably talking to chat at all is a mistake while playing. Railgun Fab on the way here for Just Carrier now. That makes sense, isn't this whole rail out? He wants to get some response to that. He does have the AVs, but it's gonna be always a little tough to fight these soul rails with just AVs. Yeah. Don't I give like 1% of my brain power when I'm casting too? I feel like I'm not sure I can go any lower. Boom! Look at that damage on this LAV. Unrecoverable unless he goes back here. Boom. Yes, he knows exactly what game this is. Extraction gonna come out for me. I'm making another base runner as well. trying to move up on the field here with this carrier. This is a little bit dangerous. I do have power 1, but nothing else, so this carrier is not particularly strong right now. Yes indeed. Yes indeed. Although there was only one game before this. This is game 2. Wow, I really think that I can triple extract here. That's not gonna work. I mean, look at these AVs out here. And I know that AVs exist, right? You have to kind of assume that they're gonna be flanking. So this is definitely a mistake, but... let's see what I can get done with it. Yeah, absolutely nothing, as we can see. So that base runner is going to fall off on the side of the camera. And these AVs don't have to stop here either. You can see just carriers pathing all the way back to the base, and there's not really any response to this, so... range calibration gonna start teching. I do have EMP for the heavies, but there's actually none in the area, so we're gonna have to evacuate third base. And this is where I think Just Carrier really starts getting ahead. Because this is gonna be quite a lot of mining time denied here. And I think he'll even kill a salvager if I remember correctly. Yeah, just barely. Let me get that one. A couple of Saban rails are out too, which are going to be harassing these assault rails. But the AV push shouldn't be able to get too much further. I do have EMP, remember, so it looks like I've used it on both of these already, actually. Ooh, this guy might die. Yeah, it looks like he's going to get one. Okay. I should have just kited a little bit further. I think he could have gotten away. You can see the units lost tab already looking pretty good for Just Carrier. Again, heavy rails are really freaking expensive. And he's denied some free-base mining time, so he's in a pretty good spot right now. But we do have range calibration finished, gonna turn that on right away. And you can see that's gonna make it pretty difficult for him to fight these railgun exchanges here. Although, he can get his armor ups a little bit easier than me, because obviously they work for the AAVs too, and he already has some of them. Always feels nice playing Coalition, the fact that your heavy vehicles all upgrade at the same time. Range calibration is interesting. I feel like I'm not terribly good at using it, but probably nobody is as good at using it as we should be. But yeah, that's true. Because of just the way that like these attribute moddings work. Because A-game changed range calibration, it doesn't show its visual anymore, so it's kind of annoying. But what you gonna do? Mark target being used, you love to see it. You love to see it. Like he's got high ground with 6 railguns. Mark target, very good. People really do not use mark target enough. This is good. I mean, look how much damage he's doing to this carrier. You know, it's just a little bit more than expected. But range calibration is really hurting now. You can see how I'm able to just outrange these railguns and kill them with impunity. And now the units lost tab looks really good for me. So I think that as the Galzian player, you can't really fight the railgun war until you get calibration, and then as the Coalition player, you don't really want to fight the railgun war because you don't have it. So I think at this point you need to be looking at some other tech, and probably artillery is the call here. But yeah, this is where calibration can be a little bit awkward. Like, they're so slow when they have it turned on. So I'm going to try and take this hill, but I think none of these guys have line of sight yet. I've turned it on a little bit early here. EMP is going to get called to just try and slow down the AAVs from pushing on this position. And I think I'm still trading pretty okay here, but still not as well as I could have been. And again, these railguns are so freaking expensive, so it doesn't feel good to lose any of these if I can get away with it. This is Ship Fab going to come out anyway, because again, I'm predicting some kind of answer to the railguns here, but actually he's not changing his tech at all, he's just going to keep building rails. Yeah, well of course you can see that it's slowed if you click on them, but... Oh, I don't know what these skins are doing. Well, maybe this will actually work, I guess with the EMPs on. They're gonna run by and try and just kill railguns? I don't know though, these are actually unupgraded skims. This is probably a bad call for me. Although I didn't lose too many skims for it, so maybe it's okay. This railgun here really does not know where he wants to be. Alright, there we go. Yeah, take that! And Railgun armor starting to tech up here. So that's good. I have a long way to go to match him. He's got armor 3 on the way, but still feels nice to do. And missile ships are in the area too, so I'm ready for air, but of course it's not going to come, so feels a little bit awkward, but still. Descara really likes to build base runners and have well, I mean, he likes the base runners for the TJ as well. He likes to have those probes able to get vision, and it does actually sometimes feel nice to have a bit of anti-air to deny it, but either way, you don't really like to get anti-air unless your opponent has air, so. This is a bit of an awkward spot to fight, though. I can't really get close to him, because first off, he has the Saban rails, they have this really good alpha strike damage, and he has the AVs, which want to be in close range. But, you know, getting around this hill is not trivial, so we might be here for some time. The 10 BR meta. Yeah, very good, very good. I'm excited for finals this tournament. Rail number 3 finishes. Bring back the retired PC build. Look at the EMPs, this is ridiculous. It works though, you know, I just want to kill off AAVs, but bringing the skims over the hill here, this is definitely a mistake. I mean, even though they're just railguns, they do a lot of damage to the skimmer blobs, so you need to be careful with that. Siege Cruiser Fab on the way now, that's going to be my answer. We'll try and answer the AAVs with this carrier here. Just kind of, you know, bring it alone into Fog of War, that's usually a good idea. If you watch this game, you know exactly what's gonna happen. Maybe you just generally know what's gonna happen because it's me after all, but yeah, okay, here are the railguns hitting the carrier. Again, mark target turned on, very good. And yeah, that's why you don't drive your carrier out into Fog of War when your opponent has 20 railguns. And all of a sudden the game ends, so there you go. Yeah, like why did I not have it in speed? You should always put the power in speed first, because you can't out-heal the damage. A-game is correct. Anyway, gonna be an ignominious end, and we'll move on to the next game in this series. That'll tie up the scoreline 1-1. Quite a long, drawn-out fight with quite a surprising end. The classic Bozo throw. Oh, I like that. That's pretty smart. Just make sure I don't realize what the danger is until the very last minute. Here we are on Kartoba. I'm not going to try for some dumb carrier rush here, I'll just go with the railgun rush again. And, you know, in hindsight, I kind of wish I had just tried for the carrier rush and lost that way on game 2 instead of losing the way that I did. Because then I'd be able to keep up this narrative that, like, all I did was just rush forever, but... But I think of the new Boneyard, way better. I think it's really good, actually. The more I think about it, the more I like it. In fact, it's so good that, like, I didn't realize, really, that we were playing on a different map when I had the good spawn, and then when I had the bad spawn, I was like, oh, this is so much nicer, you know? Which I think is exactly how it should be, right? The map's kind of identity hasn't changed at all, but it just feels a lot less unfair. It's still not perfectly symmetrical like I wish all the maps were, of course, but you can't ask for everything in DOK. Anyway, probe gonna be denied, by the way, once again. And what you want to do really is just back away, come back over here. Oh, is the natural a little different? Oh. Actually, I didn't even realize that one. You'll have to show me. How bad your build is? Well, again, I think you can get away without using the probe, but more importantly, don't lose it if you're gonna have it out there. I think it's probably a pretty good bet that I'm gonna go Rail Rush here, but you'd still like to know, and it will also tell you about my 2PC timing. So... But as for the salvagers, like, you probably could do with having 1 or 2 on the long distance base, but, you know, I reckon you can't do that if you sent the probe out, so... Oh, okay, that's interesting. That's very good, because the carrier really loved to derp on the bad spawn second base in particular. It just loves getting stuck there. Widening the border out probably helps with that too. Ah, see what I mean? You'd love to see what this 2-base timing is. It's actually not going to be railgun tech. And this is because I see the LAVs. So I'm going to yield a little bit of ground if I have to and get my second PC out faster. The other way to play this is to finish railgun tech and build assaults. We saw that work on game 1, but I prefer to play it this way if I can. I just think it makes you vulnerable for less time. And Just Care playing this right so far. He wants to push out as far as he can and try and get as much ground as he can, because it's going to take me some time to win that ground back. Yeah, I agree, but this one is looking much better already. At this point, though, it would be good to build some salvagers here and get him on that 2-base. Because if the fight ends up taking a long time out here in the midfield, you'll be really, really happy to have long-distance mining that whole time. Big RU float for me, by the way. I do have, like, the 8 salves, though, so I'm not really... You know, I don't know. There's nothing I can really do about this at the moment. So we're actually going to tech into raiding, and I always say don't do this when you have 1 PC. When you have 2, I think it's perfectly fine, seeing this many LAVs out. You do have to be aware in case AVs show up, but I'm going to take a pretty okay trade right here. I say as I check the thing and it's 4-2. That's actually not so good. Speaking of AVs, here they come. Yeah, well on one Salvager on the RUs, it's actually pretty hard to get it, so I'm not surprised that you don't have that yet. Oh, he's gonna cancel that actually. He goes for Railgun Fab instead. Very interesting. Well, in that case, he really will need another Salvager, but he's built it. Okay. Fair enough. Rating is finished now. We're going to start with the damage ups. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are here. 18 to 17, so we're pretty darn even. I have a bit more right on the front line though, because these 3, of course, still need to be streaming over. And you canceled it again. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, AV Fab is finally going to come out. Theoretically. And, you know, you have to be aware that even though these are unupgraded skims, AVs are still going to die to them. Actually, they're not even unupgraded. They have damage 1 already. Okay, hold on. We'll save that thought for a moment. High ground here on the LAVs, but I have rating and I think I have the numbers, so we're just going to ride up on top of them there. No ups for Just Carry here. This is going to be a pretty close fight, but I do also have the frontline production. And it's 8-8 right now, so that should be fine for me. Pretty bad focus fire from both sides. That's kind of what you expect, sadly. Neither of us can be bothered to play properly here. It's only, you know, a tournament match, that's all. You know, as the dust clears, though, I'd say actually none of us really won or lost that fight, but I definitely gained a lot of ground. This is not good for Just Carry, though. Poking back in, now it's damage 2 skims. And they have the high ground here, so that's going to cost him pretty dearly. Check the units lost tab. We can see, actually, look, I'm down by like 5. But I gained the ground, and I think that's what's really important. Now Railgun Fab has to come out, of course, but AV Tech is finished for Just Carry. Now, like I was saying, these things will still die to skims, but if they're out there, the LAVs are so much stronger. But now it doesn't matter so much because all the LAVs died, so feels a little bit unfortunate, but still. You can see Railgun Tech forced for me because I need to answer the AV threat here. Just Carrier wants to fast forward. He's not interested in seeing how this plays out. No, actually, I think we'll watch it in slow motion. And yeah, you can see I'm actually going to take the fight against one of these AVs. Now, he can just use his smokes. This is always a little bit risky. But he doesn't actually get it off in time. But you know, damage 2 skims against unupgraded AVs, they're actually quite strong that way. And I managed to kill off both of these. That feels really good. Railgun Tech is done. You'd have to assume I'm building heavies since I have the skim blob already and I've got AVs on the way here. And we've got some really nice positioning here too. It's going to be difficult for these AVs to get anything done on this terrain when the heavy railgun pops out, which it's just about to. They can use their smoke to buy for some time, but that's about all they can do. Armor 2 on the way, which is going to be very nice. It'll give them a bit of HP and more tankiness against the skims. But with the railgun out, this is where the skims really come online. Because now that, you know, opponents can be armor broken, I can just kind of jump over and kill them. In fact, I think I realized that this guy still has the armor break on him and go for it right now. What you want to do here is buy time using the smoke. Yeah, but he doesn't quite get that off. And to be fair, it dies really freaking fast when the skins jump over the hill. Because again, it's damage 2 against no armor. So now Railgun Fab gonna come out for Just Carrier, but it feels pretty late. I do like this. He's gonna go ahead and try and deny long distance miners, maybe even hit the main base with these AVs, which won't be able to do too much on this front. But I think you actually need to be building LAVs here. I'm not sure though. Either way, it's going to be a bad situation. Sunder lands on this guy as well, but I'm not quite able to finish the kill, it looks like. Right as they die, yeah. That feels like the worst, man. When you do actually land the smoke, but it dies to bullets that were already in the air. Try and keep the camera like this so you can check out the main base, what's happening over there as well. I'm actually building more salvagers. Well, that's convenient because I'm probably about to lose some. Smoke gonna use to buy some time here, and I reckon that Just Carrier is building railguns now. He's actually gonna start losing some logistics modules, but hopefully not too quickly. These are really well placed death packs. Critical miss right there, but you know, whatever. And you can see this front completely quiet as we're both kind of focusing over on that other side. It's expensive to use death packs like that, but if we keep this salvagers alive, it does feel good to do. And we can get back on the base now. Don't really need RUs right now. You can see I've got quite a bank of them. And probably range calibration is the tech that I want next as well. Really heads up play by Just Carrier to try and do something on the other side of the field. Let's see if it ends up mattering there. Notice I cancel the EMP to keep these guys kiting, by the way. You can never be too safe when you're fighting Rails versus AAV. In fact, I think one of them will die anyway here. Oh, okay, well, Just Carrier's getting GG. I was gonna say, now that the railguns are out, I probably expect we'll be getting calibration here, but... That's gonna be game 3, and we'll jump into game 4. Now the scoreline is 2-1. And that makes it, of course, serious point in my favor. And we're going to be on Firebase Krill. This one is Just Carrier's pick. Obviously, I'm going to rush again. But I don't plan on doing a rail rush this time. We'll go with the assault chips instead. Always a risky proposition because somehow I can never manage to keep straight what exactly the build is. Again, probe gonna deploy here. It's like 3 and 1 is the distribution of soldiers. I still think you probably don't want to use the probe if you're gonna go LAV fab like he does, but... yeah. It'll just never end, man. It'll never end. This is kind of a funny game, as I recall. You can see for me, it's gonna be the 6 on the main Sandscreamer fab starting first. And I don't think that we build any LDMs until Assault Ship Tech has started. And again, the probe here, it really wants to see the carrier, right? So once you find the PC moving out and you know what's happening, go around. Don't get killed by this PC. yeah, I do that too. And then it turns out to be a rush and you just die. Yeah, but again, the probe dies kind of for nothing here. Ah, so this is new to you, huh? That makes sense, that makes sense. Yeah, you know, if you, like, leave the probe here or something and you happen to see the PC, you're like, oh, okay, he's moving the PC out. And then don't take any more damage. There's no need to, like, see this position. You can just figure in your mind how close he is. Go around, find out what the tech is. That's going to be a lot more valuable. So, you don't want to lose that probe. just not really very good for you. Fleet cap gonna come up. You know, it used to be the meta that we'd try to like avoid getting 45 as soon as we can with the assault ship rush, but it's so cheap now, it just doesn't really matter. Yeah, but A-game's exactly right. You want to see the tech. You don't, you don't really need to see where the PC is. You can just kind of figure. Plus the LAVs are out now, they can see it. And I'm gonna charge in pretty audaciously here because I know I've got an armored unit popping. And this is pretty typical to do in this sort of rush too. Like, you want the PC forward and it can just pop the assault ship right out in the middle. In fact, I think that it might even be a bit of a tell. Like, if you're experienced enough, you can sort of see that this is going. Maybe, but it's pretty dangerous. I think it'll be fine. You have to remember, I actually have armor 1 already as well. Do you go SC first against the assault ship push? Yeah, I think you can. LAV first is not bad against it though. You just have to be aware that it could be the assault ships and then be ready to get like AVs to answer. But either way, I mean, it should be kind of an even match if you both play it right. Armor break and a hit on this assault ship, by the way. This is something to be aware of when you're playing against Savon. That'll obviously really mess up these assault ships here. And it looks like he is going to get the kill. It's a little bit sloppy for me. But yeah, A-game is probably right. Although in this case, it turned out really well for him because he managed to get the two. He managed to get the 2 assault ships there. And again, armor break is going to keep hitting here. They can. I mean, it really does come down to the micro and the numbers. Oh, this poor guy getting tracked by this freaking missile. Plus, you have to realize, with the Saban carrier doing the armor break, AVs will fight really well then. So especially as Saban, I think it's definitely playable. And when you go rails, you always are going to have the problem of not really being able to answer, like, the close range fight, so the assault ship can kind of camp behind hills. Yeah, no, I definitely think it's true. If you're good with the smoke timings, you can actually really make AVs do some magical things. But, you know, railguns will be nice to have. It's just that, like, if I camp behind this hill, it'll be a little hard to push me off. Eventually, the Galzian player will go Revco, and as you can see, you can delay it for a while. This is probably a little bit too long even. But then I'm gonna be trying to, like, buy some time here. And probably I'll do that right when I see the railguns come out. If I could build up like a critical mass of assault ships to be able to dive the carrier, that'd be nice, but I just don't see it ever happening here. So we're actually going to try for it, it looks like. This is very risky. Well, it killed an LAV though. It was pretty low. Well, you need to realize in a rush defense like this, the assault ships are barely ever going to heal at all, so if they can stabilize, that's all you need them to do. Then you get your SC out and they can heal as well. So, and that's also true. They're extremely cheap, right? I think they cost only 20 RUs. So this is a nice rail positioning up on the hill, by the way. But still, you can see the LAV's really gonna get dunked on. And that's true as well. Yeah, they are faster than the assault ships. You can see ref mode finally starting for me here. Plus, you know, another really important thing that the assault ships can do is smoke the eco if you ever do get jumped on. Although that's not going to happen this game, it looks like, because again, the railguns are up already, but... I love this. Very nice angle. Gonna manage to get a shot off anyway. And this guy's still armor broken, so maybe he's even still a target, but it looks like he's going to be spared. Just this once. You can see I'm not going to keep skimping on the assault chip numbers, though, because I know this is potential for the run-by, but if he commits all the LEVs down here, I'll go and kill the eco, and I'll be happy with that. So he does have to be a little careful just where he puts these guys. It's going to be Siege Cruiser Fab for me. And again, I'm on 2 base faster, so that's kind of my goal here. And yeah, you can see he moves in with all the LEVs, so I immediately try for the dive. It's actually not going quite as well as I expected, though. Looks like I'm just gonna back away here. Probably I could just poke in there, actually, but I don't know. I guess I figured I couldn't. And armor 3 on the way, that's gonna make a big difference. Yeah, I just don't know what to say exactly. I mean, we've definitely seen AAVs make that hold before many times, so... I think it's probably actually the best bet, too. You know, you get some LAVs out, you see that it's a Assault Chip Rush, you build AAVs, and you manage to stabilize. And the big deal is that they can push them out, too, which is not really what the railguns can do. You can see how hard it is to push these Assault Chips off. And it's kind of just letting me get 2 base for free, so... But yeah, we do have Siege on the way. It's actually off of 1 PC, but I'm still able to spend everything, it seems, so that's fine. Don't you mean ASC? It has an S in it, so it should be ASC. AAC, yeah, right. All the LAVs get wiped there, by the way. Railgun's gonna come under some fire here too, which feels very, very good for me. Although, it's dangerous to go too far in with these assault chips because they're still to the 2 rails off on this side. So it looks like I'm gonna start backing out. Yeah, you know, assault cruisers, right? AAC. Everyone knows that's the acronym for it. Well, I mean, to be fair, I think most people don't call it that, but still, some do. Huh? Wait, what? Should have 4, right? Ah, I see. You're saying because it's basically just a Gaussian unit, right? Range upgrade gonna start for the Siege, by the way, but I think if I remember, I end up canceling this, but we'll see. It's good to get the range upgrade, but I often delay it for quite a while. Yeah, you see, I'm gonna cancel it to get this PC set up. And Just Carrot looks like finally gonna manage to dislodge and get up onto his 2 base, but just like that, I've got the answer for it. Here comes the Siege Cruiser. Actually, it would probably be nice to have turned off the auto-targeting here, because I think it'll reveal itself on this LAV. What you gonna do? Now again, no range upgrade. This means we can't barrage that far away just yet, but we'll get there eventually. Barrage gonna get called here. This is actually quite a miss. Siege took quite a bit of damage on that exchange as well, but looks like it'll turn out okay. You'd be careful though, these railguns are still angry. Gonna kill off 1 more of those. And now we have the range upgrade coming out, and that's gonna allow us to fight these a lot more effectively. Mag XL coming out for the railguns. I actually don't like it. I think this is a bad time to invest more into them, because you're probably gonna lose some fighting these Siege Cruisers. I think you need to tech into something else, and like air is maybe an option. One of these cruiser techs from AV Fab, maybe. Yeah, this is the fake hill of Firebase Krill right here. I wish such a thing did not exist, but sadly it does. This is what I was talking about, by the way. Barrage gonna land this time. Gets 2 kills, really nearly gets a 3rd, but not quite. Yeah, that too. Which I've got, so you know that feels good. By the way, setting up a bit of a flank over on this side. No, it's only on 1 side. But this one is pretty puny. And yeah, this hill here, It's not exactly fake, it's just the way that it gets rounded off. Most of the time you can just shoot straight through it. You can still get high ground on it, so it's kind of funny that way. Just what it is, you know? Just what it is. Barrages are ready, so it looks like they're going to be sent over at these railguns once again. And that'll kill the one that was wounded, of course. At least this one's going to fall too. Looks like this one's going to die also. And it's starting to add up. It's difficult to, no, actually this one gets away. But it gets difficult to just tank this sort of damage. By the way, this is a really good demonstration of why having armor upgrades is pretty nice. Because you can see how easy it is for these railguns to die without it. Yeah, it's like... It's this big freaking shark fin sticking out of the desert. Here goes the flank, by the way. And EMP shell gonna start tanking as well. We've got the 3 siege cruisers, so these guys are pretty scary. Yeah, the like pits into like Dante's Inferno or something. Score right now is 2-1. Well, the carriers wouldn't fit into these either, right? EMP gonna drop, but I think that one actually missed. Anyway, flank is looking really juicy here. You can see, actually, instead of the economy, I'm prioritizing killing off these railguns. Some AVs are building now. He's gonna get the armor techs as well, which feels good. EMP gonna be used to try and keep these guys safe from the AVs. Looks like it'll be just fine. And Just Carrier's had enough of this beaten up. He's gonna GG out, and that will be the series, not just the game. Gonna be a 3-1 win for me. Yay! Obviously, I organized this tournament. You really think I would have let Just Carrier beat me? I mean, anyway, let's move on to the next one. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And always remember the fake Halo Firebase Grill.